Tech companies did the biggest data heist in history by stealing billions of hours of human intelligence to build a machine that is plotting to fire you right now. And the craziest part is, we dug our own graves. This is the story of how the middle class bit the bait and the illegal schemes corporations are doing to cover up the evidence. To understand the crime scene, we have to first understand the murder weapon and how it got so smart without paying a single dime for its education. For over a decade, AI developers operated under this legal umbrella called fair use. They basically treated the internet like an all-you-can-eat buffet. They unleashed automated web crawlers and they just consumed the whole internet. By 2023, they had scraped nearly 100 terabytes of data. Every Reddit argument you ever had, every piece of open-source code you pushed to GitHub, every article published by the New York Times, vacuumed up, stripped of its copyright metadata, and thrown into the blender to create large language models. Researchers ran the math on what they call the minimum wage subsidy. They basically asked, what would it cost if AI companies actually had to pay people minimum wage to generate the exact training data they used for GPT-4? The answer was $23.5 billion. That is a data-to-compute ratio of 300 to 1, which means the human labor they scraped was worth 300 times more expensive than the supercomputers they used to make the AI. For some of these AI startups, paying us for our data would exceed their total annual revenue by literally thousands of %. They're calling this copyright laundering. You take copyrighted human work, run it through an AI pipeline, and spit out a synthetic abstraction so nobody can trace the original source. It's the perfect crime. But the platforms holding all our data realized they were getting outplayed. Reddit realized they were giving away the entire human conversational archive for free. So they completely locked down their API, killed third-party apps like Apollo, and forced Google to cut a $60 million a year deal just to keep eating their data. Stack Overflow, one of the most important tools for software engineers, saw their site traffic collapse by 77%. So why did that happen? Because of something called vibe coding. Developers stopped talking to each other and just started asking ChatGPT to fix their code. The New York Times sued OpenAI and Microsoft for direct, willful copyright infringement. Under the U.S. Copyright Act, willful infringement maxes out at $150,000 per instance. Multiply that by 3 million articles, and the Times is technically asking for up to $450 billion in damages. But here's the irony. The tech giants know they stole it. Sam Altman literally told the UK government that it would be impossible to train today's AI without using copyrighted materials. Silicon Valley sold us a utopia. They told us AI was our co-pilot. It was going to do the heavy lifting, write boring emails, and we'd all finally get that 4-day work week. It was all just a lie. Welcome to the productivity paradox. See, Harvard, MIT, and the Boston Consulting Group ran a massive field experiment on 758 elite knowledge workers. They mapped out this concept called the jagged technological frontier. For tasks inside the AI's wheelhouse, human productivity exploded. Consultants finished tasks 25% faster with 40% higher quality, and it created a massive leveling effect. The bottom-tier employees suddenly saw a 43% boost in performance. AI acts as this god-tier skill floor. It makes the mediocre entry-level kid look like an expert overnight. But when a $30 a month AI subscription allows one junior copywriter to do the work of 10, the CEO doesn't give the whole department a 4-day work week. They keep the hyper-productive guy, give him a 10% raise, and fire the other 9. We are literally seeing this happen today. Klarna, a massive Swedish fintech giant, plugged an OpenAI assistant into their customer service network. In 30 days, that single bot handled 2.3 million conversations. It dropped the average resolution time from 11 minutes to 2. The CEO bragged about how this AI was doing the work of 700 full-time human agents, saving them $40 million per year. 700 jobs disappeared overnight. They call this hiring deferral, which is just another way of saying, we are never opening those positions again. So what about the lucky ones who kept their jobs? They are experiencing something called the AI burnout. A recent study found that 77% of employees using AI tools reported an increase in their workload. So why is this happening? It is because of the Jevons paradox. Back in the 1800s, William Jevons noticed that making coal engines more efficient didn't reduce coal consumption. It actually made coal so cheap that people used way more of it. The same thing is happening to your brain. AI reduced the cost of thinking, so now you are expected to think more because you aren't doing the work anymore. You are just the reviewer. Sam Altman is placing bets with other tech billionaires on when we will see the first unitary unicorn, a one-person billion-dollar company. One person using a massive swarm of AI agents to automate their entire marketing, sales, and operations. But if every company only needs one person, where do the rest of us work? If everyone is getting replaced by an AI, why isn't unemployment at 20%? Because the job market is very deceiving. If you've tried to get a job in the last 2 years, you already know you're sending out 500 tailored resumes, and you are getting radio silence. The average job search now takes over 6 months. You might think it's your fault, but it's not that. You are just applying to jobs that don't even exist. This is the ghost job crisis. In 2025, researchers found that 27% of all job listings on sites like LinkedIn were completely fake. 4 out of 10 companies flat out admit to posting listings for jobs they have zero intention of filling. So, why would they even do this? It's called the 6-pillar strategy. First is investor theater. When Wall Street sees a massive surge of job postings, they think, wow, the company is really growing. They push the stock up. Second is talent hoarding. Companies just vacuuming up resumes into an AI database to get free market intelligence on salary demands. And third, employee intimidation. If you're working 60 hours a week and you see your exact job title posted online, you don't ask for that raise because you think they can hire your replacement tomorrow if they wanted to. But the cover-up gets even deeper. Companies aren't doing mass layoffs anymore. Layoffs trigger terrible PR, stocks dip, and companies have to pay out massive severance packages. So now they just do quiet firing. They use mandatory return-to-office mandates. In a survey of over 1,500 managers, 25% of executives admitted that RTO policies are there to force you to commute 2 hours a day, knowing you'll quit. And if you quit voluntarily, they don't pay severance. And if they do need to fire you, they use the skill mismatch loophole. They audit your role, integrate an AI tool, and then claim you are unqualified for your own job, and fire you for cause. Let's look at the profit layoff paradox. Tech giants like Amazon, Microsoft, and Meta are posting record-breaking multi-billion-dollar profits while getting rid of tens of thousands of jobs. They are slowly emptying the pockets of the middle class to fund massive capital investments in AI infrastructure and masking it with fake job listings. So, who is really safe from all this? We were told, learn how to code. They told coal miners, fast food workers, and teenagers to go into debt, get a computer science degree, or enjoy being a peasant. Today, tech graduate hiring has plummeted by 46%. Computer science grads are stocking shelves. But you know who's completely safe from all this? The guy fixing your toilet. We are living through the great reversal, and it all comes down to a scientific principle called Moravec's paradox. Moravec's paradox states that high-level reasoning, like passing the bar exam or building complex software, requires very little computation and is incredibly easy for a machine. But sensory motor skills like walking down a flight of stairs or applying the exact amount of torque to a wrench, those require millions of years of evolutionary biology and highly optimized neural machinery. You can train a globally scalable AI coding model for $78 million and instantly duplicate it for fractions of a penny. But a single autonomous robot from Boston Dynamics costs $150,000, requires $5,000 LiDAR sensors, and it still might fall down the stairs. It is impossible to automate physical labor right now, because society spent years looking down on manual labor. We are now facing a huge labor shortage. The average plumber in the US is 58 years old, the average electrician is 41, and nearly 30% of them are about to hit retirement, which means the physical trades now have a total monopoly, and Gen Z is figuring this out. They're calling themselves the Toolbelt Generation. Trade school enrollment has gone up over 1,400%. Because why would you take on $40,000 in debt to get a degree that a single API can replace? When you can do a paid apprenticeship, enter the workforce 3 years earlier with zero debt, and charge $150 an hour. During the Black Death in the 14th century, the labor supply crashed so hard that the surviving peasants saw their wages increased by 60%. The tech billionaires know this will happen again. Amazon and Microsoft are building massive $500 billion data centers in places like Michigan. They know that digital intelligence is a cheap commodity now, but physical capacity, electricity, and infrastructure, that is the new gold. The high school dropout plumber will be the new millionaire. The Ivy League tech bro is the one who is going to be completely useless. But this all leads to the biggest flaw in this algorithmic utopia, an economic doomsday clock that Silicon Valley is desperately trying to ignore. In 1914, Henry Ford made a radical decision. He doubled his workers' wages to $5 a day. But Ford wasn't doing it out of the kindness of his heart. He did it because he realized if his workers are completely broke, then who will be able to afford his cars? Ford paid his workers enough so they could afford to be his customers. The AI tech model is the exact opposite. Right now, 68% of the United States GDP is driven by consumer spending. Someone out there is buying an iPhone, going to a restaurant, paying for a Netflix subscription. The middle class is the single engine of that discretionary spending. If AI replaces the middle class and they lose 30% of their income, it doesn't just mean they buy 30% less stuff. Fixed costs like rent, healthcare, and student debt stay exactly the same. So your spending doesn't drop by 30%, it goes to absolute zero. That is a $3 trillion wipeout of the consumer economy. You can build the most efficient, hyper-productive AI automated factory. You can pump out millions of perfect products at the speed of light, but it won't matter if no one could afford to buy them. If you like this video and would like to see more, smash that subscribe button and stay tuned.